Hi everyone, and we're back. And this is the second episode of After Hours. And again, I am. This is the web show by AIDS Society of the Philippines, and um, we are. I'm Angelo. I'm an HIV counselor. Uh, Working here for AIDS Society of the Philippines.
I'm Evan. I'm part of Yoga for Life. I'm part of the core group of Yoga for Life. It's a yoga HIV advocacy.
Ayun.
That's
And
it, basically.
And we're doing this podcast kasi we want people to be engaged more in terms of the discussion towards HIV awareness. Kasi tingin namin hindi ganun karaming tao ang nakakaalam pa rin patungkol sa mga bagay-bagay na dapat nila malaman about HIV because they do know that HIV exists. It's just that they don't understand it completely. So, ayun. Our topic for today is
About, technically, to summarize, I really want to help out, but I don't know where to start. So for people who are interested in participating in the advocacy, gusto nila makatulong na how do they volunteer their time, their efforts, their money, perhaps. Pero hindi nila alam kung saan sila magsisimula.
kasi again, nagbe-branch out yan sa the fact nga na hindi lahat ng tao alam nila kung ano yung mga bagay na dapat nila malaman about
But they might have heard of it, na parang siguro in the news na parang, oh, ang dami ng people who are getting HIV every day, but they don't really know exactly like,
So,
what are they gonna do about it.
so right now, meron tayo, syempre kasama sa discussion natin, nahihinga natin ng information regarding how do we really start trying to help out in terms of in the advocacy. So we have here with us Mr. Nicolo Cosme, who is a celebrity photographer, and
Mahaba
he
to,
is-
mahaba to.
Yeah, mahaba tong listahan to.
Profile.
You can cut there.
No. Yung ano mo ang iyong isa sa mga projects ay headshot,
Yes.
Clinic?
Headshot clinic.
and you are
You
As
won
a-
an award.
yeah,
I
as
would
a
just say I am an award-winning
Hindi, i-mention natin siya. Given a recognition by the National Commission on Culture and the Arts.
Yes.
So,
Last year.
and he is also an HIV activist in terms of providing means through his art.
Yes.
Yun, nagbibigay ng how do you call that? Parang use some
Let's
Let's just
perspective.
say that I am utilizing my art to reach out.
So, yun, could you explain that to us? How do you do it? In what means ng paggamit mo ng yung photography?
It started 2008. I did headshot clinic for HIV. So prior to that, I've been doing headshot clinic for other campaigns.
How did you get
So,
it? Paano siya nag-start sa HIV?
2008, I remember this very clearly. I was in a club. There was a fashion show,
Okay.
and I saw.
What?
Not a gay club.
Okay.
I saw for the first time in many months Wango Galiaga,
Mhm.
whom I heard was very sick. So sabi ko, "Uy, you're here, you're well, and I'm very happy to see you." And he's a good friend of mine because we work together. Wango is a writer, so
Yes. And he was the
we've had,
first guest.
we've had many, exactly. We've had many shoots before. That's why naging close kami. But we got closer because of this. So in the club, he told me that he was diagnosed with HIV.
So that was the first time you found
First
out?
time. I've never met anyone living with HIV at that time.
Pero during that time, are you aware already of HIV?
Okay, I was aware about HIV, but I wasn't fully aware about the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, I've been an addict for 4 years, and I think it took me 4 years to fully understand yung mga complexities and issues surrounding
Terminology.
HIV, terminologies.
Yes.
I remember ito. So, I told him, you know what? Let's do a project headshot clinic. For those of you who does not know ano yung headshot clinic, so we provide headshots for your Facebook. So we utilize social media, but we marry it together, we merge it together with advocacies or commercial, advertising, whatever.
Yeah, I was
So-
part of the...
Exactly. So you guys have been part of it. So it's not new to
Yes.
you guys. So for those who are watching, you can check out our website headshotclinic.com and you can Google it.
So I'm guessing the purpose
Yeah.
purpose of having the advocacy link to the profile photo is to start the conversation.
Exactly. And you know, Filipinos are addicted to pictures. If there's a house burning, the first thing that they will ever get from that house is the photo album.
Which is true.
Forget about the other things. Forget about your children.
Mag-picture muna. Kailangan ma-post ko sa Twitter.
Yeah, wala akong Twitter nung time.
Well.
So anyway, so I told Wango, you know what? I think that I wanna do a headshot clinic for HIV and AIDS. Yun yung first. So what I did was I invited Wango's friends and my friends to come to the studio, and then I took their pictures, and then I had it on exhibition. And it was my first time to actually meet Miss Sed, who's here from the UNAIDS, and Miss Bai from UNAIDS also. First time ko sila ma-meet that time. I was interviewed by Cara Delu for GMA7. So she asked me all these questions, statistics, and other things that I don't know. And I said,
Numbers, figures.
and I said, I'm really sorry, Cara. I don't know.
I just want to make
I just said,
pictures.
buti na lang this is
and
not,
promote that.
buti na lang this is not, she briefed me first eh. So, this is not in front of the TV. God, you know, if that happened in front of the TV, that was probably the most embarrassing moment of my life.
Pero that's how it's got you started.
Yeah, because that time sabi ko, hindi pala ako pwede ng artista lang na kaway-kaway ka lang picture-picture lang. You need to know
Yeah.
the whole thing
Correct.
because, you know, here a reporter is asking me about things that which I could not answer. This is before the actual. And she was asking me about statistics, and I told her, I'm really sorry, but I just got into this whole advocacy. I
Really
don't
started
know.
with the passion.
Yeah, I
and
don't
the
know.
personal
I don't know
story.
about it yet. And then she said, okay, don't worry about it. I'll call Remedios Foundation, which was
During
still
the time,
existing
yes.
then,
Back then.
back then.
I think maganda rin sakyan natin yung pinanggalingan ni Nicolò
Yeah.
during that time in terms of how he started with volunteering. Kasi if we are to define advocacy, it's actually being the one, being a person who pleads for the cause of another.
Yes.
Kumbaga, during that time, Wango disclosed his
Yeah.
status to Nicolò, and Nicolò, being the friend, he wanted to be able to help not only Wango but also other people in terms of.
But that's a sad thing. Sometimes, but do we need to lose a friend? Do we
Yeah.
need to have more friends who are living with HIV before we do something about it? I'm not saying that I'm lucky that I met Wango, but I think I was lucky that he had came out to me, that he allowed me to. Yeah, he inspired me, and he had let me use his cause to spread awareness, and I was able to get all of his friends to be aware and to to feel the need to do something about it as well.
Actually, the yun rin yung isa sa mga reasons why it's important to have HIV advocacy, because not only does it matter to those people who are living with HIV, and it also matters to the people who are, for example, their families, their friends, and in a general, in a more broader perspective, it's an issue that concerns everyone.
That's one thing I like about dun sa campaign ni Nicolò, yung I'm living with HIV. Like
It
it's
was
really,
very controversial.
yes, it's really not, hindi siya about kasi na I have HIV, but
Yeah.
I am facing HIV in my
Yeah.
community.
Or we're
na-
facing,
Yes,
we're
yes,
living
yes, yes.
in a society with HIV.
Oo.
And yun dun rin mismo na magsa-start rin siya ng conversation. That's why it's very controversial, because people started asking, oh my God, yung favorite celeb ko, is he positive? Is he
Yeah.
like that?
Actually, I'm gonna share. If you guys haven't seen the TVCs, you can check it out on YouTube. Just type the Red Whistle. When we did that, I remember very clearly Gretchen Barreto and her manager, handler. She was reading the script. This is on the day itself.
Yeah.
Sabi niya, are you sure about this? Because the script says I'm living with, or I'm positive. And then parang they were kind of
Narattle sila.
narattle
sa
sila.
idea
But
na-
then we had to explain to them. Sabi ko, if you read the whole thing, and I think that in a general, holistic understanding of the script, of the story, it would really hope to soften the stigma.
Pero yung kasi yung book talaga na parang, wow, parang it draws
Yeah.
attention, especially in this age na parang social media na parang,
Yeah.
parang
It's
medyo
really hard
controversial.
to catch attention of
Yes,
people
yes.
with a lot of the distraction.
Yeah.
Oo. So parang yun, parang yung message ko
Right
na
now.
I'm living with HIV, parang
And when they saw that they're not alone, they're actually doing it with 10 more other celebrities, including Senator Miriam Defensor. So sabi na parang, okay, we'll do it. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah. Bandwagon ang
Bandwagon siya eh. I mean, we left out, right?
Pero if you guys if you guys didn't know, actually, this is actually the time na ang dami ng tao na tumutulong, ang dami ng tao na nagbibigay ng support nila, celebrities, people in power position.
yes.
Pero there was a time before na the advocacy work was really small. It started out really slow. The pacing was really slow. If just to inform people, back then there were different organizations that handled HIV in terms of treatment, in terms of testing, but in terms of volunteer work, the different organizations I have to mention. For example, Kapalikat, before they utilized their volunteer work in terms of OJT, they had people from UP coming in and reach out naman. They had promotional materials. They called it a one-stop shop wherein you can have your consultation, your testing, then eventually you get people to you network it towards other people. And as well as RAF, Remedios AIDS Foundation, before they had parang buddy system. Noon kasi no one was talking about HIV. No one, as in, it was a non-issue. Wala talaga siya. As
I
in, it
feel
doesn't
like kasi
exist.
parang before, who were the faces of HIV in the
Yeah.
Philippines but before?
Sarah Jameson.
Diba
Yeah.
parang sensationalized and like...
And people couldn't relate.
yes, exactly. That's parang feeling ko yun yung pinaka-problem.
That's why back then, the volunteer system was really hard to gather, to build. Tapos, if ever that they do get volunteers, the work that they do was only parang medyo sa sidelines. Like for example, RAF had this telephone hotline wherein you can talk to people and have some counseling. Yeah.
Well,
Parang
they had
ginagawa.
that before.
They had that before. Pero if you see the difference between the two, magugulat ka na there are similarities, yes, in terms of, for example, body system, kasi you know of people who are already in the advocacy or people living with HIV, and you being a friend, you want to help out. But if you see it, i-contrast mo rin, ang hirap ng situation noon as compared to ngayon. Bakit tayo tumataas pa din? Mas mahirap noon, pero ngayon mas madali nang magkaroon ng volunteer
Yes.
opportunities, but the cases still rise eh. Yun yung maganda
May
siyang
disconnect siya.
may disconnect siya
Yes,
na
yes.
makikita mo. Pero as of now, sige, pag-usapan naman natin yung mga nangyayari ngayon in terms of the volunteer system dito sa time natin. For example, Nicolo, how did you start getting people dun sa headshot clinic ko?
Well, first and foremost, I think if you come up with a project that's enticing, kasi secondary ko lang sinasabi na, there's going to be an HIV 101. There's going to be an HIV screening. If people really go, not because they want to be educated, they go because they want to get their photos. So, also we got volunteers last year. Was it last year when we did the Channel D concert?
Yes.
So,
Red
you know, people want to watch the concert, you know, so I think there should always be something for people to go to. And I think na-observe din namin that if the testing is done on a different date,
It wouldn't work.
they won't go. They'll go to the shoot, but they won't go to the testing. But if the testing is right there, at that very moment, they go for it.
Because it's
weird.
available.
Because it's available. So I think we should always think of
How to make it
how to
easy.
make it attractive. also.
Accessible.
Attractive. But of course, with also keeping in mind, you know, the issues of confidentiality and others. Because we just don't want to, you know, attract people. Okay, party, whatever, and then biglang, okay, and then what?
Hindi party ang mangyayari.
Kasi for example, whenever we do headshot clinic, sometimes we try to provide HIV testing.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
But we need to be sure that the venue is capable of handling
The testing,
the
yes.
testing. Because we just can't, oh, you know, put it on the side, but no, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
The venue needs to have a different point of entry and exit to keep the confidentiality of the people. I remember 2010, if I'm not mistaken, was the most successful kasi 100%, if not 100%, 99% ng attend for the
Got
show
tested.
got tested.
That's interesting.
But this is only yung tipong ang volunteer lang nila is their time. It's one way for volunteers to join in the advocacy is just giving their time, they're allowing themselves to get the photograph, then
Yeah.
posting it online for them to use it and start a conversation.
Yes.
What about you, Evan? For example, yung sa Yoga for Life, how is the volunteer system there working?
Basically, what we do now, we actually have an upcoming event in celebration of the
What is this
Catholic
again?
Memorial. It's Better Together. The title is Better Together. Basically, Yoga for Life, what Yoga for Life does is support group siya for people living with HIV and also their families, friends that are also concerned. So it's more of like a community we can encourage people to live healthier
Yeah.
and then happier and like come to terms with your condition or like your friends or family's condition. So,
So ang inyong parang catch ay ang pang focus sa nila ay yung yoga.
yes, it's yoga.
Yeah, everyone
But,
wants to do yoga.
yeah.
And then
So
parang
try it.
eventually we introduce
Ano nangyari?
Okay,
Anyway.
Why?
I almost died.
How?
Tunnel vision.
Parang naman Sun Warrior ba yung position?
And you never tried it again.
No, I
You should go to our event. I think
Okay.
you can enjoy. I mean,
I'll do it for a good cause.
So aside from the yoga, so how do people know about your activities? For example, what are your usual activities for volunteers, for example?
apart from yun, may mga meetups and then people actually start talking about HIV.
Okay.
No real pressure about it. But in our small way, we hope that people will start realizing na parang HIV is a concern that we don't need. It's a disease. It's a disease primarily. It's not something that
And I actually joined one of the during the time I was joining some of the yoga sessions. I saw like different IEC materials, information materials in the table on the table.
Yes.
Tapos I think there were condoms there. There were condoms and
we're not really shoving the issue to
Yeah.
them. Like we want them to become open to the idea eventually and start realizing that hey, I need to open my mind, not just with basically yoga is helping you come to terms with things and also HIV.
That's the best thing to do.
Kasi
Yeah.
parang
For
if you
me,
show it to people's faces, parang, hey, you have to be concerned. Like parang, whoa, I don't want to be concerned about that. Pero like you gently introduce the idea to them.
especially in our culture.
Yes, in our
Talagang-
culture na parang hindi tayo, we hate being too upfront about things. Like parang confrontational, parang no.
Yeah.
Pero we try to gently introduce the idea and then like people hopefully come out of their shells and warm up to the advocacy.
Which is the same thing that we use din sa ASP. Kasi what we try to do naman is we make the discussion on sexuality, gender, caring for one's health. We make it cool for the young generation naman to parang connect with it. For example, we access online media like Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook we make posters, we make hashtags, and we make them share it kasi we make it in such a way na mas makaka-relate sila. Very, for example, very hipster yung look, yung poster niya, tapos there's a message there. For example, meron magandang design yung poster, tapos meron hashtag, then you can start a discussion using that hashtag on Twitter.
It's really a balance, I guess. Balance.
You can't really push that much in advocacy, but you can try subtle ways for people to know how to get in, volunteer sila doon in terms of their time pagdating sa online. Yun yung sa amin.
I feel like kasi as a society, like we're at that stage we're not exactly that conservative, pero unti-unti tayo lumalabas, we're starting to become open to ideas, and like we're starting to talk about it, which is the most important thing naman. Let's start talking about things, and especially with HIV, that's the most important thing because that's how it lead from talking to action.
Yeah, and speaking of actions, yung for example, ang recent activities namin during the time na nag-utilize kami ng volunteers, we had an activity na poetry slam.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and what we did was we got different poetry slam. Slam. Tumutula sila na there was a system, but the last part of it was they had to create a poem on the spot and for 10 minutes. Then the topic is HIV, so that the sex, gender, sexuality, and all of that. And you can talk about stuff through poem, and you had to compete with other people. Do it creatively in terms of poem, and you declaim, kumbaga, yun. Tapos also we have, again, this is a web show. We have different volunteers there. Tapos we also have outreach, and yung mga volunteers din doon when people are when mga testing activities, we also have people who volunteer and give out the materials, information na hey, you want to get tested, something like that. How about you, Evan? Do you have any recent activities sa Yoga for Life?
Yun nga, yung Candlelight Memorial, which is this coming Sunday in celebration. Yeah. So
This
basically,
coming Sunday.
Yoga for Life is gonna have its annual celebration of the Candlelight Memorial. The theme of this year's celebration is Better Together. So basically, the idea lang na parang everything is gonna be better if we're
Sad naman
together.
if you celebrate alone.
Yes.
With
Well,
wine.
it's like a party, but you're like, ikaw na
That's the
taga-sindi ng cake
saddest
mo. Like,
party
ikaw na-
ever. So where is this going to be?
It's gonna be in Quezon Memorial Circle at the Chavita Planas Garden.
That's
What
my
are you
favorite
gonna
circle.
Oh, wow. I wonder why.
I wonder what to do.
Pero
Patriotic
I have a-
bang reasons?
Yeah.
medyo patriotic. Pero
So what's
ano?
gonna happen to us? What's gonna happen?
Yeah, explain.
It's gonna be.
I've never been. I'm gonna try my very best to go. But I did support Yoga for Life. When was it? Like last year? Last year? I remember you did an auction.
Yeah.
And you auctioned out one of, not my body, but one of my service.
So yung
my service.
photo shoot.
My
was a
photo shoot,
yeah.
This one naman, like, it's an yoga event na whole afternoon. So
People are gonna
yes,
practice
they're gonna
yoga.
practice yoga in the event, and then parang syempre may mga HIV/AIDS organizations that parang
mass
promote-
yoga.
Yes, it's a mass
Mga-
yoga event.
Okay.
And like people are gonna
What time is
educate
this
them.
again?
It's gonna start at 1 p.m. Like, then magsa-start na yung registration.
Magaganda tayo for Guinness records.
Most people
Doing
doing
practice
the
yoga. Diba?
We think we're claiming it hasn't been verified, but I'm pretty sure we're the first organization doing mass yoga practice
So
for HIV.
you're saying if people who practice yoga want to volunteer, so this is also a good opportunity
It's a
for
good
them
opportunity.
to join in. You don't really have to know anything about HIV agad.
It's an entry
Pero
point.
kailangan, pwede
It's an
ka pwede ka mag-practice ng yoga ng sarili and kasama sila. Nag-part nun. Ganda ka ng picture nun. Tapos sila nakataas yung pa.
May mga alternatives, like if you can't do a particular pose, parang bibigyan ka alternative. O baka mas kaya mo to, mas easier for you.
Okay.
So that's why you should join.
Sa inyo, as a Red Whistle, is there an opportunity for people to volunteer? And what are the recent activities that you've done?
Well, we just came back from Boracay. We were there for Labor Day. So we did a guerrilla marketing So no permits, but it
What
was,
kind of job was
I was with my
did you-
with my
did you
team.
do?
We were giving out whistles, and we gave the whistles to the most rowdy person
Oh.
on the ledge.
Did you make them blow?
Yeah, they were blowing the whole night. So the whole thing is just to disrupt. We just want people to, hey, what's that? You know, or what's going on? You know, and we gave about 150 whistles there. We did that because it's the new it's the new Holy Week. I was there last Holy Week, but I compare Holy Week and Labor Day. Labor Day is so crazy. It's full of it's like spring break.
Yeah.
It's full of college students, yuppies. So you know, this is the target audience, target market.
So, yung aside from that, yung mga activities nyo is just yung headshots clinic, then yung pag-distribute ng whistles. And during that time, you give education
No,
then.
this is what we do. We always tie up with different organizations. Kasi we're not an organization. It's a campaign. So what we do, whenever we're invited by, kasi like previously, Star World had a fun run. Not this year, but I think that was last year. We were invited as one of the partner advocacies.
Okay.
So we were able to fill out 50 volunteers to run for HIV, and then during their registration, we gave them an HIV
Education.
one-on-one.
Okay.
Because sabi ko, you know, you just can't run and blow the whistle. You know, you need to run and know what you're running for. You know what I mean? So,
So, kailangan
make
mag-connect yung
yeah,
idea.
kailangan parating may ganun. And then, during that day, also, namigay din kami ng whistles. But for them to earn it, they need to go through a survey. So the survey acts as our HIV 101. But yun nga, it's not a regular thing. You know, we wait until we're invited.
Okay.
So, or we come up with our own event. Because we don't have money. Where do
Yeah.
you get it? You know? So, wow.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there eventually. Like,
But for us, utilize lang what event is going. Like in Boracay, there was
Yeah.
an event paid by whatever liquor company.
Tapos,
People are
pasok
there!
tayo.
O, pasok tayo! Whistle.
Intrude.
Hindi naman kami escortan na para
Yeah,
get out of here.
Actually, gusto natin malaman din paano ba makakapag-start ng volunteer ang isang tao? Paano ba, what is the best way for them to start? Ano ba tingin nyo na pinakamagandang first step for a person to, for example, if they really want to?
I really think that the first step should be to learn.
Yes.
Because it's hard to be a volunteer and not know. You know what I mean?
Ako, get tested. Definitely.
Well, I think it will have to follow because you need to practice what you preach.
Yeah, kasi you have to know your status to be able to realize. Parang you have to go through the process of the testing itself para
Yeah.
makita mo yung have I been risky?
Yes.
Have I done this and that? Para and whether you can and you know what is the outcome of your activities. Tapos from there, you parang take in the education na rin. Tapos you know the information. But from there on, you can live by what you say.
Yeah. But I think it works differently per person.
Yes.
So I think what you said, di ba, parang you started out na you had a friend
Yeah.
and then you wanted to help the advocacy nga, and then like you were educated
Yeah,
about
I
the process.
did not know anything about it. The only thing I knew about HIV was Sarah Jane and those were for that. That's it.
Tapos, I think then, saan ba tayo magandang for example, they already know their, yung they already have the education on HIV. I think that the maganda na rin is for them to connect themselves to the different groups.
Organizations, that's
Yeah.
true.
Like,
But or try to and talk about it. I think talking. I wrote it here. I'm gonna share with you. But talking about it is very important.
Yes.
And yung red whistle when we wear it, it became our entry point also to speak about it. Because people ask, "What's that? Are you a referee? is that a rape whistle?" You know, so no. You know, this is our campaign for HIV. So nagkaroon kami ng way to talk about it. So,
Actually, yun nga yung isa sa mga lagi namin catchphrase na ginagamit. The first poster for the show is let's talk about it.
yeah,
Kasi there's always a need
yeah.
to discuss issues on
I mean,
surrounding
when people
HIV.
hear it over and over again, even for some people who probably don't care about
Yes,
it,
yes.
they will eventually care about it.
Yeah.
Parang putang na naman, parang, ano ba to? I can't, you're talking about it everything. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I say that a lot.
Yeah.
You hear it over and over again, and I think what you hear, what you put out there, you attract.
Yeah.
So when you talk about sex, you attract sex.
Oh.
No, but listen. No,
That's
listen.
an interesting
And
perspective.
then when you
Parang gusto.
attract, no, listen. When you attract sex, then that's your entry point.
Yeah. Okay.
Because people want to talk about sex.
Definitely, actually. It's
Diba?
all over
Sex
all
sells.
over TV,
Sex
but
sells.
no one really wants to talk about it
Diba?
directly.
But I think for me, it has been a good entry point also. So you talk about sex, you talk about
And
Yeah.
going back to what you said, parang I feel like actually I know for a fact that fear stems from ignorance, and
Yes.
you need to really educate yourself to like get out of like that fear that you have, like people have. So it's really really important na
Kasi hindi mo alam ang gagawin mo eh. Yung, for example, even before you have the realization that you want to help, ikaw mismo hindi mo rin alam ang gagawin mo
Oo.
from the fact that you know stuff about HIV.
you're just gonna enforce like yung mga outdated notions about HIV/AIDS and how do you get it? Like what exactly is the difference between HIV and AIDS?
Yeah.
I think those are the important things that people need to know about. And like when we talk about it, like parang people confuse one over the other. So
Would you think the person needs to parang know rin the purpose why he's volunteering?
Well, for me, it worked when we always say the statistics. So we say, oh, you know what? When we started, there were only 6 new reported HIV cases. Now there's 12. Like, then I said, So I think it works then pag merong shock factor. I think it also works. But not to the point naman you're gonna scare them. They're gonna be so scared not to even get themselves tested or anything
Okay.
like that. But to just be aware
manatil lang
it's,
sila na it's
it's
really
just
science.
an
It's really science.
Shake the cage ng
Oo.
bit na parang, hey, this is the
Yes.
situation.
Yeah.
So, if you guys were to suggest, before we close, if you guys were to suggest a way for them to walk in, penetrate the advocacy.
Penetrate.
Yeah. So if they want to join in the advocacy, what would you suggest they do?
I really think
Nicolo?
that they need to expose themselves to the different organizations.
Yeah.
They need to learn sino ba to, saan ba sila. But sometimes it's hard. But how do you do that, diba? So I think that we also, as advocates, I think we need to have a better referral system.
Yes.
Or like, I think that's what we're trying to work on. The Red Whistle, come up with a better referral system. But at least when people ask, where to go or paano volunteer, we tell them, oh, you go to ASP, taga Quezon City ka ba, or taga Manila ka ba, you go here, you get there. So yun, para mas mabilis. And I think another thing is utilize your friends.
Yes.
If you're inspired already, then inspire your friends also. If you
Yes.
think that your friends aren't that inspired, then there's something wrong with you. You know what I
You're
mean?
not passionate
Ibig
enough
sabihin-
if you're-
ibig sabihin that your messaging is not working.
Yes.
You know, when
Medyo weak.
I started the Red Whistle, I given out the whistle I bought in the bookstore.
Yeah, you mentioned.
I placed it on the necklaces. So sabi ko, oh, wait. And we went to the clubs, like Republic, ganyan. And the people were looking at us when we went to Greenbelt. And, you know, if my friends did not believe me, they will not wear it. Like,
True.
why would I wear this?
So you used your influence to make your friends passionate.
Yeah,
Like,
either that or I bullied them.
that's also one way of putting it.
Yeah.
For a good cause. Bullying for a good cause.
So, for me, utilizing your friends would be one thing because you can't just go out alone. And when people see you in a group of people, that's why the Hedgehog Clinic is powerful because it utilizes
The
a number of headshots out on one day. Diba?
So if you want to
The way I visualize parang sperm cell.
pwede.
A
Super
number.
penetrate.
I
Yeah,
like
it
the
needs to be-
analogy.
no,
I like
that's
the
I always
metaphor you
think.
used.
You know what? Listen, let me talk. Yeah, sometimes it helps. In my advocacy, sex talaga.
Yeah.
Sex, you know. Sperm cells, egg cells. That's your goal, your egg cell. That's my goal. I need to get there. that's not personal thing. But you know, and when I conceptualize, I sex, but
Yeah.
you need to get there.
Sex
You
is
know what I
like
mean?
yeah.
If you don't satisfy yourself, then how can you satisfy others? Right?
And you
So-
have to, and in order for you to do that, you have to stay healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I guess for us to close, the reason why we want people to know more about HIV and to join the advocacy. For one reason, it's May and it's the AIDS Candlelight
I
Memorial.
thought you were gonna say it's Flores de Mayo.
Pwede. If you feel
The
like
flowers of May.
if you feel like engaging with a flower. No. If you feel like yun nga, if you want to know that May 19
Yeah, maybe you need to explain to them what
AIDS Candlelight
Memorial.
International AIDS Candlelight Memorial. This honors the lives of the people who have lost the battle with HIV or have been affected by HIV in many different ways. This is the way for the community to honor them and to give them the recognition that they have to be recognized. So I guess for us to close, mention again the activity this coming.
Yes, so
Sunday.
we're having Yoga
We're
for
gonna be
Life.
there. Yes, we'll
Yoga
be
for
there.
Life is holding its own AIDS candlelight memorial celebration called Better for Life. It's a theme, and it's gonna be in Quezon Memorial Circle. It's gonna be a whole day yoga event. Na different HIV advocacy organizations are gonna be there to educate people
Yes.
about the things.
For ASP, we are currently running the campaigns on posters, trying to get people to talk about HIV. So you can visit our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/AIDSPIL, and our posters are there, and our hashtag. If you guys have questions regarding the show, regarding HIV, Nicolo, you can tag him on Twitter.
Twitter, yes. Nicolo Cosmin. Nicola spelled with a double C.
And you can use the hashtags ASP After Hours. This is for the show. And if you have general questions, it's the hashtag of the community actually. A lot of the different organizations is hashtag 0HIVPH.
Yes.
So again, I'd like to thank my co-host, Evan, and and
especially our guests.
yes, our
Yes, I
very
have a photo exhibit. You guys are invited on the 30th of May at Opus Resorts World. It's gonna be called Traversing Across the Universe.
wow.
Profound.
Okay. We need a passport for that.
That's it, right? Profound. Like Nicolo Cosmin, profound.
Sabi ko nga. I guess that with that we have to close the show. Thank you guys. Please watch us again next month. We'll keep you updated on the next topic. So this is After Hours. Bye.